Hello everyone and welcome to the AccuQuote Quick Start video. The purpose of this video is just to get you up and running quickly and knowing the major functions of the system and being able to create a job and print a quote. If you have any questions, we offer multiple levels of support. One is we have a support center that has videos and quick reference guides that you can always jump out to. It's available 24/7. We also have an email address, support@accuquote.direct, that you can shoot us a question and we'll get right back to you. So let's jump right in. When you log into AccuQuote, you come to the dashboard. That's this place right here. The dashboard really has two sections. The first section up here is the weekly calendar. It shows every job being bid by bid date, and these are links that you can go to just by simply clicking on this. You can jump over to a job very quickly. Also down here is the second section. This is the job list. These are all the jobs that I am working on. A couple of things real quick that you'll see throughout the system is the search bar. If you just start typing here, you will see that AccuQuote will start sorting for whatever you type in. So very easy and quick to get to information. Also, if you just click on these column headers, it sorts them for you. So if you want to see all your active jobs, this is a great way to get to it. Next up is the calendar. Calendar gives you a month at a glance look. It is different than the dashboard because you can sort jobs by status or by division, or by who they're assigned to. You also have your jobs here. If you mouse over a job, it will give you the job number, the name, the alternate ID, who it's assigned to, the status, and how much value is on or money is on that job. And as you move through and mouse over, you'll see that the updates happen, or these post-its are changing based on the information for that specific job. Also, something that our customers like is the ability to just drag and drop. So if a bid date changes, just drag the job to the new bid date and you'll be fine. It will take care of updating all the dates in the background. Next up is your contacts. This is a list of all the people you're doing business with. We store a lot of information around your contacts. So if you need a contact, you don't see one, you can just click on create a contact, and here's where you can store all this information. Here is also where you can assign a salesperson, for example, to a specific contact. So it makes it easy in terms of tracking sales by bidder, for example, and by salesperson. Next up are templates. Templates are sort of the backbone of the system. Templates are created for any equipment or services you happen to be selling, and our customers, we have hundreds of these that our customers create. I have created a bunch of them, as you can see, over the years doing demos. I'm just going to pick one real quick just to show it to you. So this is a template for a condensing hydronic boiler. So you list here in the template, you specify the equipment, the manufacturer, and the model. Here is where you can, in this primary product description, is where you can list a lot of information about that piece of equipment. Here are internal notes. So this side is only seen by your team. This side is what goes on to the quote. And then down here, we have linked documents. So if there are any documents that you want to associate with a particular piece of equipment, you can do that, and you can link them here. And if I click on this link very quickly, you'll see that I just included this just as a reference. But you can see here, you can associate manufacturers, documents, engineering diagrams, anything really with a particular piece of equipment. We also have the same feature on a job, so you can also link documents to jobs. And down here is where you put line items for things that you sometimes include or sometimes don't include, options, things like that. So here's your primary product description, and here is your secondary sort of additional item description. I'm going to jump over to jobs, and we're going to create a job real quick. So I'm going to click on create a job. So anything with a red asterisk is required. Most of our customers create a job header as soon as they learn of an opportunity. So I'm going to call this Larry Demo Job. I'm going to skip the address for now. I'm going to assign it a division of Baltimore Boiler. Your divisions are completely customizable by you, as are statuses. You create, and whatever the status is that you want in your business, you create all these completely customizable by you. I'm going to say this is open. I'm going to assign it to myself. I am going to give it a bid date of today, and I'm going to pick a bidder of all bidders, and I'm going to add a note over here that says, just found out about this job, and I think we can win it. This is a great place for people to insert notes. This is a great sort of collaboration tool because all the salespeople, the estimators, the managers can all add notes here. We see just as a best practice is that most people start with the date the note is made and their initials and then the content. I'm going to click Save Job. Now I've saved this job, so it exists. I can track it. Next step is if I want to quote on this job, then the first thing I need to do is right here, add a new quote group. You can name a quote group anything you want to. So you can see I've named them boiler, cooling tower, item A, link insertion. I'm doing some testing here. First quote, so I'm going to pick boiler. I'm going to say it's open. I'm going to say the division bidding is Baltimore Boiler, and I am going to pick a basis of design of, let's say, Fulton, and I'm going to save this quote group. Think of a quote group as sort of a section of your quote or a piece of equipment or something like that. So now I have this quote group. It's open. Baltimore is bidding on it, and the basis of design is Fulton. You'll see here. So now I need to add a piece of equipment or services or whatever it is that I want to bid to the customer or to the bidder. I'm going to put right here. So I'm going to add quote items. At this point, AccuQuote is now looking back at these templates, and it's saying, okay, Larry, what do you want to bid on? So if I type Fulton, it comes back and it says, oh, here's what I have for Fulton. Or if I type demo, here's what I have for demo. So I'm going to pick this test demo condensing hydronic boiler because that was something we looked at just a few minutes ago. And I'm going to say, this is what I want to bid. And now I'm going to say click to add to quote, and AccuQuote now says, okay, here's everything I know about that. So here's the equipment name, the manufacturer, the model. Here is my primary description that we looked at just a second ago. And then over here are the internal notes. And then here it says, which quote group do you want me to put this information in? The quote group, as we talked about, I think a little earlier, you can have as many quote groups as you want. So you decide where you want to put this information. And then here are the features or the additional things that can be included. So I can say, you know what? I don't want to include this. I don't want to include this. This one I'm actually going to include in the quote, and this one I'm going to leave as an option. And now I'm going to insert those line items. So now it says, okay, I'm going to take what you just told me that you wanted, and I'm going to put it in that quote group. So here it is. As you can see here, full suite of editing. So let's say I want to edit this. I just click on this, and I can just type. If I want to change something, I can just say change this for the demo, for example. And I can just click update. And see, you can see how it updates that. I can highlight things in here. I can put bullets in. I can do all kinds of things. Now I want to figure out the pricing. So let's say I have one of these. It's $125,000. My volume multiplier is 0.55. My markup factor is 0.87. And as you can see, as I tab through this, AccuQuote does all the math for me. So now I have a sales price of $128,562.50. Here I've got an include. I'll say I have one of these, and I had already put this pricing, these costs and pricing information into the template. So it automatically does that for me here. And I'm going to say I'm going to have two of this option. It automatically does that calculation for me too. And you can see over here, it keeps the option price separate from all the other things that I am definitely quoting. I'm going to save the job. So now I have a job. I have value on that job. I have a piece of equipment on that job. Now I'm in the Quote Builder tab. There's a bunch of tabs here that do some pretty cool things, but we're just going to jump over and produce a quote real quick. So as you get more and more familiar with the system, feel free to experiment and go over here and look and see what these other tabs do. We also have some information about this in our support center. So now I want to add a quote. So I'm going to click add a quote. I'm going to say give it today's date. I'm going to say it's all bidders. I'm going to assign this to Bill or I'm going to send it to the attention of Bill. I'm going to include this quote group. Again, if I had multiple quote groups, I could include them or delete them from this particular quote, so you can make your quotes very specific. My division that's bidding is going to be Baltimore Boiler. This is my administrator, which was me, that defaulted to me when I logged in. I'm going to use this conditions of sale. As you can see, I can have multiple conditions of sale that you can create, and I'm going to say my individual proposal notes. It was great to see you yesterday. And now I'm going to create that quote. So now I have created a quote. Here it is. I can have as many quotes as I want, or I can just have one. If I'm going to do all bidders, I would just have one. If I'm going to do separate or specific quotes for each, let's say I've got 10 bidders, I could have 10 quotes here. Now I want to print that quote. This will be the last thing I want to show you real quick. So I'm going to say that I'm going to print the group price, because I have one quote group, right? I'm going to print that quote group price on my quote. I'm going to print this. So now what it's doing is it's going out, it's creating the quote for me, and it automatically turns it into a PDF. And let me go over here and grab this. And here it is. So this was the quote we just created. Your logo would go here, your address. You can see here where I have that note. It was great seeing you yesterday. Here's that boiler, right? Here's the formatting I did. Here's that additional option that I included. It puts that below the line. And then here's my terms and conditions. So as you can see, AccuQuote, very, very quick, easy, accurate quoting. Again, this quick start video is just to get you up and running. Feel free to experiment. Jump out to our support portal, send us an email. We'll get right back to you, and have fun with all the things that AccuQuote can do for you. It's been great talking to you, and thanks again.